Welcome, everyone, to Day 6 of the free Extreme Law of Attraction Telesummit. This is Lori Raymond, and Cecily MacArthur and I are thrilled that you have joined us once again from all around the world for this Telesummit. And for a couple of quick housekeeping notes, we'll work to keep our interview to an hour, and you will be muted for the call, but there will be a great opportunity at the end for you to ask questions, which is a special part of our Telesummit design. And if you were not on the call, you'll be sent a replay link via email of today's content-rich interview. And, of course, at any time, you can purchase the Extreme Upgrade Package so that you can always own these amazing 10 interviews with bonus gifts. By way of introduction, I am Lori Raymond, and I'm the founder of Women as Visionaries, committed to help their lives or live their lives from a place of passionate purpose. And one of the ways is through spiritual travel. And 3 years ago, I was fortunate enough to lead a group of 32 people to Peru. And that manifested because I really lived and practiced law of attraction principles, which was 6 months before I went. I blocked it out on my calendar online and said I'm going, even though I didn't have the $4,500 to go. And then my church asked me to market it, and I did, and ended up in Peru. It was August, again, 2008. So I know law of attraction works, and you're going to find out more about Peru and our special expert guide today and what's been happening with her and Peru, Cecily. So
all right, Lori, and definitely a Peru theme going on here today.
A Peru vibe.
Yes, I haven't been there yet, but it is on my list, so I have to work on manifesting that. But my name is Cecily MacArthur. Those of you who don't know me, I'm a life mastery consultant with Mary Morrissey and Life Solutions, and a certified life coach, intuitive, and a transformational teacher and author. And when I was thinking about today, and also we talked to our guest about her background, I had this similar background in that I came from a corporate consultant position, 20-plus years as a corporate consultant in a six-figure business and flying around first class all over the country, and finally knew that that was not me anymore and just could not do that, and walked away with just the idea that I had a dream and I knew I could make it happen. So with the law of attraction, that dream has come true. So that's an amazing process, an amazing leap of faith, and an amazing way to contribute my gifts to the world. Back to you, Lori.
Yes, and I appreciate you sharing that because, you know, what happened to you and our expert guide and myself, and I think for many of us right now, we know that in the world, lots of dismantling. What we knew is to be our truth, and the old is just falling apart. And the longer we hold on to it, the more we suffer because there just are great global shifts going on. And that's why you and I both were committed to offering this amazing Extreme Law of Attraction Telesummit. And with that, we really wanted to do something different, and we really wanted to bring the very best of the best tools and strategies. So, Cecily, you and I know the Telesummit was born. And how exciting has it been? I mean, we're into week 2. Here we are. Oops. And the other piece of that is, you know, what are our intentions with anything in goal setting or law of attraction? We know that our intentions help us focus our energies and our vibrations. And that is if you just take a moment and breathe this in and join your energies with ours. But our intention is, with the support of the universe, our expert guides, and our extraordinary listeners, Cecily and I are open and willing to allow for the important life-changing and life-affirming messages of this Telesummit to serve 5,001 listeners across the globe for everyone's highest good. So thank you in advance for holding that vibration with us. And let's just get into this very exciting hour. And it's my joy to introduce to you Liz Greene. She is live with us today from the United Kingdom, across the pond, as they say. And Liz is an inspirational leader, transformational mentor, and she's been known as, I love this, the Law of Attraction Queen. And she is just so joy-filled, enthusiastic as she spreading her positive vibes around the world. In fact, she's just dedicated to radiating blessings. And when you talk to her, she says the reason she does this is that she just can't hold them in. She is just joy expressing. And so it is with great pleasure to introduce you and to welcome Liz to this Telesummit. So welcome, Liz.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Cecily and Laurie, for having me here, for inviting me. I always have the intention out there. I love to do telesummits and seminars and be interviewed, so thank you. Right back at you. I'm really excited about the call here today.
You're welcome.
Well,
thank you.
All right, Liz, this is great, and we are very excited to have you with us. And we wanted to start to talk a little bit about your past life as a corporate executive, and do you talk a little bit about your shift and what happened to you with the law of attraction?
Oh, I would absolutely love to, and I love how you said there, past life, because as you mentioned, I'm just very fresh back from Peru here, and I experienced, and I know we'll talk about this further later in the call, but I experienced rebirthing work over in Peru the week with the shamans, and I can honestly say that the old Liz, the corporate Liz, the past life Liz, really does seem like a long and distant memory now. Now, for any guys on the line here today who haven't been following me online and don't know me that well yet, you're probably going to think I'll say that I've been on my journey now for years and years, but I haven't. I actually realised when I was chatting with you guys earlier, Cecily and Laurie, that it's not even 2 years since I left corporate. It'll actually be my 2-year anniversary this November 2011, ready for the build-up for 2012. So, yeah, my distant life memory there of corporate was corporate Liz. You know, I've built my career since leaving school at 17. I didn't get a degree. I just decided to go for it and climb that corporate ladder, and I was working in senior management. I was up for directorship. I had the company car, the good wage, and to be quite honest, the life of what am I doing here? You know, I kind of awakened in my late 20s when I learnt about the law of attraction via The Secret, and I manifested a lot of great things through my job, but it just wasn't enough, and that is how I suppose my journey began, and I can't believe myself that it is only a few years, and not even that, since I left my job. I said to you guys earlier, it's almost like it's been an accelerated journey of awakening and learning, and I'm absolutely loving it, every minute of it.
Well, that's fabulous. And you should be loving it, and you've created this brand new life as the Liz Greene, the Law of Attraction Queen. I wanted you to talk a little bit about that. Where did that come from?
Do you know, I have to give a shout out here to my wonderful partner Ian, because he's a quite creative guy, unlike me, who's the one who did all the talking. But he designs, and he came up with this really quirky picture of me and popped a crown on me. You know, it wasn't even going to be about Law of Attraction Queen, but we played on words. Obviously, you know, the monarchy here in the UK, you've got Queen Elizabeth, and Queen rhymes with green, and the Law of Attraction. I am completely obsessed with the magic of the power of the universe and the Law of Attraction. So it was just, actually, do you know what it was, Cecily? It was angel bumps. I said to you earlier, I get the goosebumps and it means yes. And you guys call those angel bumps, and I've got them again all over me right now.
And I'd love, so it's inspired action that you knew you had the right combination when that happens, and it's perfect. And I love the picture of you with the queen crown. It's perfect. And it's great to have a creative partner who came up with that. So good for you. That's great. So let's talk about the law of attraction a little bit. So understanding it, and we've talked about, some of our other guests are talking about clarity also, but from your point of view, talk about what your understanding and how why clarity is so important.
Well, do you know what? When it comes to law of attraction, and this is really just how I see it, I mentioned to you guys earlier, I don't really say I'm a guru. I'm just a traveller on the journey of life, sharing my experiences. Now, I do work closely with Mr. Michael Lozier as well, and if you know law of attraction, I'm sure that you'll know his teachings, and he's personal mentor of mine, so I know a lot about the clarity. Now, the clarity is how I see it. It's just the positive and the contrast that can come up in life, okay, which is the negative, gives us the positive clarity. And I had a bit of a personal battle, I suppose, when I was still in the past life of work and knowing about law of attraction, because so much contrast came up, so many negatives, even after I started to spread my wings and fly and left that behind. And even I have days now where this contrast comes up, so much so that the only thing you can do sometimes is flow towards that positive clarity. And how I see it is simply when you've got the contrast and you know what you don't want, there's only one push you can move to flow away from that, and that is towards what you do want. And when you can wrap your head around that, you can really start to celebrate the contrast that pops up. Something that doesn't taste too sweet for your personal tongue, and I'm not talking about food here, but we will get onto breadcrumbs in a little while. But, the stuff that's not quite as sweet as you'd hoped it would be in life, you can actually flip it on its head and say, right, it's almost like saying, what lesson can I learn from this? Or, okay, I know what I don't want now, so come on, universe, show me what I do want, and start to flow in the great direction. So, yeah, that's how I see the clarity.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And I think the concept of, you mentioned the breadcrumbs, and we wanted to get into that too, but the law of attraction and action and the universal actions, will you talk more about that in terms of how you have your interpretation of that?
I would love to, and I love how you kind of accentuated the universal, because this is something that I've learned along my journey, I suppose. I just started out being me, because, at one point, even just in the last 6 months, I thought, should I really be out on the internet wearing a crown with that silly background and that smiley face? And that is just me. So I learned quite early on in my journey to be you and to be unique. Okay, so look at the word you with a Y-O-U for unique. Continue that into the universe. So rather than it just being the universe starting with a U, add the Y-O universe. So it's, gosh, I've got the angel bumps all over me right now again. It is all about your universe and you aligning with the universe, your universe within, and that's where it all starts. I think I've got this quote online on my Facebook, that at the end of the word attraction, you see the word action. Okay, now, past life Liz, corporate Liz, I've always been a woman of action. I pretty much used to have a BlackBerry strapped to my head. I was on the go 24/7, and I am a very high energy person. I'm very, very hot to handle, and I'm always on the go, and very quickly learned when it comes to law of attraction and action, the inspired action, so the in spirit action that you take in, the action that gives you the goosebumps when you're going to do something, and you get that inner knowing that it's where you're supposed to be going. That's when you see the law of attraction in action in your universe. So it's very playful. That's how it works the best, I feel. That's the experience that I've had. So definite, Cecily.
I love the idea of uniqueness, because that's really important, I think, when you're working on the law of attraction, to have it be based on you and what you can do and you being true to yourself. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. It's all about vibes, isn't it? Vibrations, and that's what the goosebumps are. It's all about energy. So when we're not being true to our own uniqueness, so I'll use me, because, I'm the only one living my life, so I know my uniqueness is, my sort of silly giggle after, I'm doing it today. I give a giggle when I finish a sentence. I've got big chubby cheeks and I'm always smiling and I'm in touch with my inner child. That is my uniqueness. Now, let me give you a great example here, Cecily, and I feel this will resonate with people listening to the call today as well, because it's just popped up. So let's say I'm guided to put it out there. you've brought back a memory for me. When I was in corporate, I used to finish off emails with a little smiley face, and I do them a lot online, and I add a lot of lips, you know, the little brackets, so like the mouth smiling, and I put extra smiles on. That's because when I was the old Liz, okay, the pre-unleashed Liz who was kind of holding back this inner child and wanting to play life in corporate, I used to put these little smiley faces on corporate emails. At the time, I'm laughing now because I was actually asked to stop with the smiley faces, and I think that was one of the moments where I was like, I'm in the wrong place in life and I'm not being me. Yeah, I think you see where I'm going with this one. If you want to put smiley faces on an email, put them on. You know, it's all about shining your brightness from within, and sometimes it can feel uncomfortable and you feel like the odd one out, or you know, like you're not following the pack, the rest of the gang, and how society depicts that we should be. But it's when you start to really tap into who you really are on a heart and soul level that the magic really happens. I'm just fizzing now with the goosebumps. So yeah, definitely on the right path here.
Well, I'm glad that the no happy faces on your emails was a clue you didn't belong there for sure.
Michael, on my blog, there's a couple of tabs on there for coaching and workshops. Partnering up with me as well. I do help people follow in my footsteps as well, in my sparkly shoes, in their very own unique way. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. I'm out there online every day. I'm always making videos and doing the blog posts. So just, you know, connect with me and give me a wave, drop by and say hi.
Well, lovely. And again, for everybody, that's liz-greene.com, where you can connect with her. And for everyone else on the line, again, I'd love for you to continue co-creating with us and to really ask you to take a moment when you get offline and invite friends to come join us for the remaining 4 calls this week. We've got much more to come. Again, you can become a Law of Attraction affiliate, earn some extra cash, and finally, if you want to have these calls in final form and access anytime you want, there's 10 content-rich. Cecily and I are very committed to providing that. It's really been commercial-free until now, and you can purchase your upgrade package, which is only $67. But after this Friday, it jumps up to $97, and we've got amazing bonus gifts in which Liz has contributed something very generously. So check that out. And Cecily, now we're time. I know the time just flows. It just flows like ice on a hot day. But, you know, I don't know if we can get just a couple questions in because we've got to wrap up here. So question time.
All right. Well, let's ask some questions here. And this is a time where if you're on the phone, you can raise your hand by pushing *2 on your phone. And if you're on the webcast, you can type your questions into that little box. And let's see what people have. I will identify you if you're on the phone by the last 4 digits of your phone number. So push *2 on the phone to raise your hand. At this point, you have a question for Liz or a comment. Right. Well, we are a quiet caller group, but we do have a couple of things on the webcast. So we have Izzy from Nigeria. She wants to know, how do I know who is my soulmate? I know a lot of people are looking for questions like that. So, Liz, when you have people ask you that, what was your response when people are looking for their soulmate?
That's a fabulous question. Was that Izzy, did you say?
Yes,
yeah?
Izzy, you know Izzy.
Wow. Similar name as well. So, hi, Izzy. That's a great question. And do you know what? What comes up for me is to go within. This inner you, yes, it could be the inner child within you. Once you know what you're passionate about and what your heart and soul passions are, I feel that really helps you to connect with your soulmate, because you need to connect with your spirit and your soul so that your spirit and soul can manifest and attract the right person for you. And I've just got the angel bumps, so that was obviously the right information for you today, Izzy. And again, just remember what I said earlier about playing with it and flowing with it. Have fun. Do you know what I'd recommend you do, actually? And I've done this process with other people, and it's worked for them, is write a love note, okay, or a note to your soulmate that you want to manifest. Get really playful, just as if it's already happened, and you're putting that vibe out there then for the universe to send you that perfect person in. Just have fun with it and lighten up.
Great advice. I like the letter. That could work very well, and definitely not taking it too seriously, because that's when we get into trouble. And that's so. They have another question. Let me just double check on the phone lines. We do have one person here. Let me unmute them. Your last four digits of your phone number is 3509. Hello, what's your name and what's your question for Liz?
Hi, my name is Angie, and earlier in the call you mentioned about following the breadcrumbs, and you were going to mention that you're going to elaborate on that a little later. Could you do so now?
Yeah, I would absolutely love to. Thank you so much, Angie, for your wonderful question. And yeah, I think the best way to look at the breadcrumbs is as the synchronicities and serendipities. So what I mean here is some people would call them the coincidences in life. So, for example, if you've got a dream or something that you want to manifest, let's use the example of a particular kind of house in a certain area, keeping it quite general. And then the following day, you see an advert for a similar house in a similar area. Those are the kind of breadcrumbs, or you may see an advert on the TV or something which is a similar match to that which you're wanting. Okay, so another good example of a breadcrumb is in The Secret. Okay, for example, you talk about picking a certain colour feather, maybe it's a pink feather, okay, and that pink feather represents the breadcrumbs. So it's just the signs, the synchronicities, the trail that you will follow towards all these things that you want to manifest, okay. Just to say as well, I feel I should mention, when it comes to, I think I talked briefly about the breadcrumbs for things that you maybe is the trail that you shouldn't be following. Like one of my breadcrumbs for the contrast was getting told not to use smiley faces on corporate emails. Things like that kept happening where I kept feeling the contrast and the negative energy because I wanted to be more playful. I wanted to do certain things and corporate didn't want me to do it. So you can get those kind of breadcrumbs as well, and your inner self, your inner knowing, will give you a real sense of where the breadcrumbs are leading you. Does that shed any light on it for you, Angie? Does that answer your question okay?
Not really. I guess what I'm trying to do is identify my passions. Okay. Trying to decide what I want to be when I grow up, and keep in mind I'm 40. So as far as looking for the signs, I don't know, is there another example you could use?
Yeah, I would say, Angie, I'm feeling my sort of instincts myself is saying it isn't necessarily the breadcrumbs, because when you're wanting to know what your passion is, you've kind of got to identify it to open the oven door and take the bread out so the breadcrumbs can start arriving. Do you see what I mean? So would you say, Angie, that you're still trying to identify your passion?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm very, and that's one of the things is getting over the indecisiveness, trying to decide which passion to pursue, because I have so many interests. Which one should I, put a lot of my energies towards?
I'd say that you'd be better off with getting the clarity. You see, it's kind of like it unfolds. First of all, you start with the clarity. So get clear about what you do want in life. You can do this by maybe spending some time with you and going back to what you used to be passionate about as a kid. You know, what did you enjoy as a child? What puts a smile on your face, okay? And get really clear about what you do want. You can do this as well, Angie, by first of all identifying what you don't want. I think earlier on in the call today I talked about when we know what we don't want, we can then move towards what we do want. Okay, so I feel that's going to be the best starting point for you, is to, you know, to get a sheet of paper and put at the top the contrast, the negatives, the clarity, the positives, and write it all out. I feel that when you get clear about your path, the trail of breadcrumbs will then start to arrive, and the breadcrumbs are going to be the synchronicities. You know, so you'll think of something you'd love to do, and then a breadcrumb will arrive, which is, you know, something that's going to help you on that chosen path. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and if, you know, just reach out to me when you've connected with my blog as well, Angie, and connect with me, say hi on Facebook. You know, I'm always sharing other tips about this kind of thing on there as well, which I feel will really help you too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, we had one more question, and then we will. This one, it comes up fairly often. This is Donna from Indiana, and she's got a lot of text here, but essentially she's saying that there's the idea that there's a subconscious with counter intentions, so that when we know what we want, as with Angie, where she figures out what she wants, that there is this subconscious that gets in the way, that prevents us to actually be effective in manifesting. So how can we address this? How do you handle that within getting back into having your mind not be taken aside, or the law of attraction is trying to you really want with your conscious mind versus the subconscious mind? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I know where Donna's going with this one. Yeah, thank you. It's a great question, and it's something that I'm still learning about myself, actually, because I always like to be, as I said to you guys earlier at the beginning of this call, I'm an open book, and kind of my take on it, I suppose, is that we're always going to have this big vat, let's call it a big vat of whatever's going off in our subconscious that we can't necessarily control. And again, I think this is a great kind of get-out clause, you know, when we sometimes manifest something and think, how did I manifest that? It could be some old subconscious thoughts that are playing around in your mind. And again, let me just take you back to what we believe will ultimately be true for us. So what I've played with on my journey, and notice how I say play here as well, because it is supposed to be playful, is, well, I believe that my conscious thoughts of this, and this, which is happy, positive, knowing what I do want, will far outweigh any subconscious silliness that's going on. Do you see where I'm coming from with this? It's kind of that, it's almost like, I tell you what, let me share this example quickly because I feel this will help. I've got a little Liz sat on my left shoulder and a little Liz sat on my right shoulder, and I call one of them Flick because I flicker. I'm doing it now, actually. I flicker off my shoulder because she's sometimes that, you know, the monkey mind or the old thought patterns, maybe something coming through which we don't need anymore. And you can flick that off, and the action of flicking this little monkey chatter away works for your kind of unconscious, subconscious thoughts as well as what you're actually putting out there during your waking days. I hope that that's made it clear enough. It's kind of like your own version of the game. You just need to find your groove with it, really. You know, it's whatever works for you. But if you believe that what you're putting out there far outweighs whatever's going off, you know, within your mind, then that's going to come through the strongest.
I think that strong belief really helps to shift a lot of that subconscious programming that would come up, and then noticing it and not allowing it to to dominate your thoughts. That's great. I like the little off your shoulder. That's cool.
Well, that's
All
one
right.
of my, again, you come up with your own, everybody can come up with their own games, really. Again, it's just right, I know that you're here and I'm going to flick you off, or accepting. And I always, do you know what I always use? And you can do this with anything. If in doubt, I always go back to the Hawaiian healing art of Ho'oponopono, which is where you simply say, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, and I love you. And if you haven't read or learnt about Ho'oponopono before, Donna, or anybody else on the line, Google it. It's fabulous. It's another one of those, if in doubt, there's always something you can do, yeah?
Absolutely. And there are lots of tools that can help you to make that shift, but that's a great one. So we ran over, and that's okay, but we want you to give you a moment now to wrap it up for us. And any final thoughts, Liz? Anything that you'd like to say to inspire our listeners to truly have more energy and more fun and get more woohoo out of life with the law of attraction?
Do you know what? I think just for me, it is about letting it go. And I know sometimes that people may be like, yeah, again, it's okay for you, but just to kind of stop being so serious about everything and really get into that. Even if you can only do it, you may make a pact for the next few days to say, right, okay, for like 30 minutes, for half an hour, I'm just going to do something which is for me, which is playful, which is fun. I'm going to get in touch with my inner child and just almost put it to the test in your life. Put that intention out there that you're going to play the game, you're going to play with the universe and see what happens. Seriously, it can happen very quickly once you've made that intention and you're just having fun with life, because that's what it's all about. Do you know, it was only the other day I noticed an anonymous quote that I put on my Facebook, so I'll finish with this because I think it pretty much sums me up as well. And the quote is that you will only be young once, but you can be immature forever. How cool is that? And I'd actually say forever, like as in the fur of my pussycats, because that's how immature I am. So yeah, just be immature forever.
I love it. Great. Lori, you want to wrap us up?
Yes. Well, to everyone listening and on behalf of Cecily and myself, again, thank you so much for being with us. And just heartfelt thanks to you, Liz, for allowing us to play with you this afternoon. We're here at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Cecily and I are. And just for the joyful information that you've shared with us so generously. So thank you, Liz.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to be sharing the airwaves with everybody today. And I'm just going to put it out there to the universe right now, not just for me, but for everybody on the line here. How does it get even better than this? And truly, what else is possible? It truly is magical. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. And yet, I'll tell you, Liz, it is going to get better, and I want to invite everybody to come, if they would, tomorrow, same time, and join us for Mary Morrissey. She's going to be speaking about 3 simple secrets to discovering and living your dreams. But she brings to the conversation tomorrow 3 decades and is really known as a transformational leading teacher in the human potential movement. She's chaired committees for the United Nations. She's co-convened and facilitated meetings with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. She's met with Nelson Mandela, and if that weren't enough, she's also been the author of 2 best-selling books and was featured in Beyond the Secret and the Moses Code. So she just brings that richness, and it's just the other bookend, Liz, of your 2 years with your wonderful, bright, fresh eyes, and Mary comes to us tomorrow with 30 years and her expertise. So thank you again, Liz. Thank you, everybody, for being on the line. And on behalf of Cecily and myself, goodbye to all. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye, everyone. Blessings.
Goodbye.